less than a week.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah, I have a out-of-state property, so I thought I had to listen in.
Awesome. And you said Henderson, Nevada. That's right by Vegas, right?
Yeah,
Yes. James, I don't think we met. Where are you from? Where are you from?
Hey, I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay, awesome.
A lot of new people. Yay. There's another Lindsay.
what's a typical turnout?
Hi, Lindsay.
Join.
I joined
Good
last week, but
morning.
I think there was a conflicting event last week. So, or no, not last week, the week before. Last week was a holiday.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Did you had it last week, right, Lindsay?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay, I figured you didn't because it was the fourth. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't on, but yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I was looking for names on this platform. Here we go. Vincent Harris. Is that who?
Yes.
Okay.
I think since it's a lot of new people, we should introduce ourselves again.
Okay, go ladies first.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lindsay. I live in Los Angeles, California. I invest in Indiana, Gary, and Hammond, multiple out-of-state properties, concentrate on the market, off the market, seller finance, uh, buy and hold strictly. I don't flip. And we have Vincent.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Vincent. I'm in Northern California, a little bit outside the Bay Area. I do a lot of fix and flips here locally in my market, and then I have a out-of-state portfolio in Alabama where I focus on Montgomery and Prattville. So I do a lot of I've bought turnkey. I do a lot of burrs, predominantly burrs, and value add properties.
I'll go ahead. Am I off mute?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I can hear
Diane Van Leefda, currently living in Henderson, Nevada, coming from San Diego and potentially going to Arizona. We started our very first investment 2020. You may have seen me on the feed up in Klamath Falls, Oregon. It's a fourplex and haven't done anything since. And we got to get off the sidelines, start getting out there because you may have seen it's no time to waste. We're not getting any younger, 60
you.
and 64. And my husband's still working his butt off, and we need to make sure that we've got that retirement income set up and a legacy for our kids, two adult kids.
There you go. That's
Yeah,
the dream.
and the goal is long term. We'll look at we're open minded. My husband's way too creative and scattered, so
Mhm.
I got to hold this ship together.
I guess I'll go next. My name is Lindsay Armour. I'm on the East Coast in New Jersey. I have two investment properties in state. I'm looking out of state. Vincent, I know you mentioned Alabama. I'm actually considering that, the Huntsville area. I'm also a
Mhm.
real estate agent, so I'm an investor, also an agent licensed in New Jersey. So thank you for having me. And I look to continue doing Burr. Just like Lindsay said, I don't really want to deal with fix and flips. So
I thought you were in the Bay Area. You have the Golden Gate Bridge behind you.
Well,
Anybody else?
I'll go next. I've only been here a couple times, but I'm Marilee. I live in Ventura County, California, and I'm really interested in the area. I've had rental properties before, but not for quite a while. We actually sort of house hacked. We bought a house in Tempe, Arizona. My late husband and I did when my kids all went to ASU. Of course, being from California, they wouldn't go to school in California for in-state tuition.
Mhm.
So, which worked out really good because as each one of them graduated, we were able to rent out more rooms to students. So, and then I hung on to it and then did have to sell it when my husband passed away, which was about 5 years ago. And I sold it about 4 years ago. But I'd like to get back into the area I'm looking at is Eastern Tennessee, more around the Columbia area. I'm just getting started in that process, but I am taking a trip back there in October to kind of just look at the areas and I'm trying to figure out how to get started. That's and so I've been doing a lot with the one rental at a time videos and trying to figure out how to do the buy box and putting the time in on it. My biggest questions is how do you find the areas, what the economies are like? Where do you find out about that part of it? So when you make, a choice of what you're going to do, you're in an area where rents would be good and people are going to need housing.
Yeah, we could definitely talk about how we found our markets and other ones that maybe we're looking into and why and how and everything. We can deep dive into that. Anybody else want
Great.
to go?
Hey, good morning. My name is Palmira Hernandez. This is my first time joining, but I've been kind of stalking Lindsay's channel. I saw her Bigger Pockets episode, and it's what really got me into like, okay, I could do this. I'm also risk adverse, live in California, have immigrants, farm workers as family, my parents. So I'm trying to see if this is for me. The majority of my wealth is in the stock market right now, so I want to diversify. But so far, seeing the videos, you guys are really informative. And Marilee, I had the same questions you have, so I've been jotting down the notes. But your questions are very informative.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
I echo that. So thanks for putting
Yeah.
that out there, Marley.
Sure.
and that's my background. Oh, I'm looking at investing out of state, mainly in Augusta, because I have a friend there, and he was the one that kind of mentioned it first, and he's doing house hacking.
Oh, nice. Mr. Rick, I think he's texting today, but Mr. Rick's in Northern California as well, and he's investing in Alabama.
I guess I joined on a good day. A lot of Alabama.
Yeah, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you're in Huntsville, aren't you? You're investing in Huntsville, I think. But yeah, I think he's been investing there. Lindsay, yeah, you want to just dive right in and talk about how you got to Indiana?
Yeah, so I got into Indiana first because there's nothing I can buy in California that cash flows, and my main goal was to get off nursing, and I needed something that cash flow I couldn't play for the long appreciation. So went around the markets, tried to get into conservative markets, so red states, and because I was a travel nurse, I could travel and house hack, but I was looking for rates that would be like California. So I was looking at Illinois, ended up in the Illinois market in 2022, but I realized everybody was not paying rent because of the pandemic. So I started looking up other markets around the lake, the Michigan Lake area. So Detroit, Milwaukee, Indiana, Ohio. And then I found a couple creators, small creators at the time on YouTube, Millennial Mike and Masky Finance, and they were investing in Indiana, specifically in this market called Gary. They were getting cash on cash return of like 16% and over. So basically, I was just like, what is this place? Let me find out. And find out it's a very, decentralized, abandoned city, like population is under 100K. But it's very, very close to Chicago downtown, like 30 miles away. So I was just like, oh, this could be a great secondary market. So I started finding more about Gary, Indiana, and talked to these creators, actually build the relationships with these creators, and um, ended up in that market. Actually, first Hammond, then Gary, just because I was scared of Gary. Because if you look up Gary, you can see a Business Insider article called "The Most Miserable Cities in the United States." Sometime in like 2019, Gary was in the list. So ended up in Hammond and got out property, was cash flowing day one. And for 1 year, I took the one rental, and then the following year, I felt more confident investing in Gary, and that's how I ended up in the market. leveraging referrals from somebody, well, two people that were already successfully investing in those cities.
Yeah, I got into Alabama in 2020. I spent all of 2019 analysis paralysis, analyzing every single deal, just knowing I wanted to get out of state because being in Northern California, like Lindsay said, you can't, or in California, you can't cash flow without having tons and tons of money starting out, right? So we found this area that's got houses for under $100,000. Didn't believe it. Looked at rents. I actually have a cousin who's a realtor in Montgomery, Alabama. So she was kind of our boots on the ground. We narrowed it down to about 3 cities. Ended up going with Montgomery because we had somebody there. So I bought 2 houses in 2020 and just kind of chilled. Like just thought that was it, and I'm gonna retire, and this is easy. I was still working a full-time job at the time, and then it started to get addicting, and then we started to grow, and then started to find different ways to buy and learn creative opportunities to buy, and um, now it's scaled. We do a lot of marketing in Montgomery, Alabama. So I do a lot of pay-per-click. So you'll see advertisements on Facebook, Instagram, Google for cash offers, sell your house fast. I do a ton of that. I do mailers and I do pay per lead campaigns now. So I go direct to seller for all of my properties in Alabama. I don't deal with realtors or on market properties really anymore. I'm negotiating directly with the seller, cash offers, buying them at 40, 50 cents on the dollar, fixing them up, cash out refi, moving on to the next one. So that's the whole, burn method out there. I keep every single one. I've never sold an Alabama property. I just add them, keep adding them. Um, and then here in my current market, I started flipping in 2024, because I wanted the freedom. I wanted the time with my kids. I was working, rotating 12-hour shifts. It was just getting to be, taking a toll on my marriage and my kids. So I left my job 2024, went into flipping full time for more of the active income and, make your money in California, spend it in Alabama kind of thing. So we're still growing, buying rentals. I'm buying one today and another one next week in Alabama. So it's just a great opportunity, great way for cash flow. I'm not in the appreciation game really. I'm more in the cash flow thing and the long-term wealth. So yeah, that's how I got into Alabama. Per attachments. I'll touch on that, Rick. But yeah, we did talk briefly about the CPA I use for the business. Yeah, so like I said earlier, I like the cash flow system, right? A lot of these houses are under 100,000. I bought houses out there for over 100, but a lot of them are under. So you figure they've been built in the 60s, 70s, and they haven't crossed 100,000, value yet, right? So I don't see it happening anytime soon, but the rents go up, the debt goes down. And that's the big thing with cash flows. Over time, your debt's going to decrease while your rents increase 25 a year, 50 a year, depending on what you can do and where your market's at. So my goal is to hit 450 every single door. If I can get all my cash back out and still cash flow 450 every single door, it's a good deal to me. Every day, and I just keep going. And like I said, that 450 is going to increase while the debt increases over time. So out of state for me is a long-term play. Stuff's going to happen. Water heaters are going to blow. ACs will go out, whatever, all that's going to happen. But if you're just in it for the long-term play, you can wipe out your cash flow in 1 year easy with one repair, which I'm sure, Lindsay, you've done. I've done multiple times. But as your portfolio grows, it's really not that much of a hit, right? It still sucks, right? But it's not that much of a hit. So right now my goal is just to scale, keep growing and building this portfolio, while still maintaining a life for my family, right? Because I could probably work 20 hours a day and keep growing and scaling, but I'm doing this for the freedom aspect. So that's why I'm trying to delegate and learn to hand things off. So yeah, that's the out-of-state game for me. That's why I love it. I'm going to stay out of state and just easy. I mean, it's hard, right? It's just different type of hard.
Vincent, can you talk about how you choose property management?
Diane, I think you're muted.
No,
She's not muted.
maybe it was delay. Do you hear me?
Maybe it's his headphones.
Hmm.
Can you hear us, Vincent?
Yeah.
Can you hear
Can
us?
hear you, Diane.
I think your headphones. Maybe.
Oh, is it me?
I think so.
Oh, I couldn't hear anything. What about now? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, did you hear what I, sorry, did it cut off while I was talking?
Can you hear me? No?
What about now?
I'm showing I'm unmuted.
Yeah, no, you are unmuted. I don't
Hold
think
on.
It's
I don't think
I'll,
it's your problem. I think it's Vincent's problem.
I'll
Okay,
get rid
what
of the
about that?
headphones.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear
Yeah,
you, yeah.
I've been
Okay.
hit.
I think, yeah, your audio or
Yeah.
speaker.
So am I all good? No? Okay.
I can hear you, Diane.
Yeah.
That was weird.
You can go, Diane. Oh, no, we lost her.
Sorry, guys. That took me a minute to get back to my speaker. So anyway, I was just asking property management. Can you talk about that whole process? Because right now that's the scary part, I think, for a lot of people out of state is finding a good, reliable property manager.
Vincent doesn't use a property. He
Yeah,
wanted to do it himself.
What?
I self-manage every single property I have.
Wow, we're doing that now, but tell me, how are you doing it?
So I got lucky in doing it. It was kind of I like to learn every aspect of my business, right? That's how it started. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I like to learn every aspect of my business. That's kind of how it started, is know the ins and outs of every position of your business. So I started doing it when we had like two, and then it kept growing and growing, and I just kept doing it. And then as our portfolio grew, our team grew. So plumbers became more trustworthy, contractors became more trustworthy, roofers, all these trades became more trustworthy. So now it's to a point where my tenants contact what they need. They contact my main contractor basically. So he kind of like, hey, Vincent, I'm going to this house to go repair a sink. Okay, cool. Just let me know when you're done. Send me pictures and charge the card. So now it's to that point where it's kind of easy. Like I don't need to really pay somebody the 10% of rents and first months or whatever they charge when I kind of have a good system going. He doesn't mind it. He likes it. So he's not dealing with every single call, right? They're still going to call about whatever they're going to call about. There's this in there, or can you fix that? But they know to contact Jerry. Jerry's the main point of contact for repair issues. Um, the vacancies, not fun. Dealing, screening, showing, all that stuff. I do have another agent that kind of handles all of our paperwork, and she does our walkthroughs, our exits, and we just give her a one time. I give her like $75 a house. So she does the walkthrough with the tenant, everything, and gives us the paper, scans it over, sends it, and now does the key swap, and we're done. But the day to day, it really hasn't been difficult. There's times where it's like, okay, I'm busy doing something. I got to deal with this and put it to the side. But I self-manage I don't see myself getting a property manager until I get to, I don't know. It really isn't that much right now. It's not
Vincent,
too,
I have question for you.
yeah.
So you're at a great point with all that, and I keep hearing boots on the ground. How do you
Mhm.
get to that point? How many different people did you have to go through, or what,
Yeah.
trial and errors did you go through? Because it sounds great, and I think
Mhm.
most of us could probably do that, learning about stuff. I think we're all interested enough to be
Yeah.
willing to do that. But where do you start in the process of doing that?
So I started on boots on the ground with my cousin, right? She was a realtor. That was all we knew, all we had. She was a newer realtor, so she didn't have as many contacts in the trade world as we would have liked, but she was our eyes on the property, right? For that, so that was the only one I had started out with. It took a year to vet out all of the trades. So we'd get referrals or whatever, and they'd find out we're from California, or they would overcharge, like it's just crazy numbers. And I've said it on this call before, like I really recommend when you're investing out of state, know the ins and outs of a house. Not like, super detailed, but know like, okay, to repair this, it should be around that. To replace an outlet, it should be around that. A roof should be kind of around this. Just know the system and the structure of a house so you're not getting screwed over, right? By people that just think you're some investor sitting in California doesn't know what they're talking about. So I always preach like understand a house, how it works, what systems go to what, things like that, right? But it took a good year to find, and I would say at that time, decent people that we can trust. Now it's a no-brainer, it's easy, but it starting out, I would say Realtor was good because they understand properties and transactions and things, how that works, right? Systems on that side of things. Then you're going to want a contractor. I like one that knows how to do the majority of everything. They're not going to, but they have contacts as well. So my HVAC guy referred this guy. This guy's going to refer this guy. They all know each other, right? Or know somebody that can do it. One that works with out-of-state people as well is good. And then one that I always say has an iPhone. For me, like, don't text me any Droid pictures. Like, send me some iPhone clear pictures, please. That's just my personal thing. Or if you need to FaceTime me for something, like just make it convenient and easy.
Did
But
you
I would
make
say
many trips back there in the beginning to get these things established?
I've been to Montgomery, Alabama one time, and that was last year. And that was to take my grandma. My grandma's from the South, and I flew her
Yeah.
over just to go. And I just like, oh, I'm in Atlanta. Let me just go to Montgomery for a couple hours. And I walked, I think, two houses. I didn't even go to the other one. So I've never seen any really of my houses.
So a realtor is probably the first mainline entrance into that.
Correct. So this is the this is if you are like looking for an area. So you pick, for example, Birmingham, Alabama, right? And you're
Right.
just browsing on market. Okay, that seems like a good deal. We can put the 20-25% down, traditionally buy a DSCR, whatever that is. We can fund it that way. Looks like a good rental, right? It'll still cash flow. A realtor is going to be your best point of contact. Preferably a realtor that works with investors. Um, I only deal with realtors now to show houses and to really do a key swap. And I deal with one in particular, which Lindsay, I'll send that over to you. But because I go direct to seller now, right? So I deal
Okay,
directly
right,
with the
right.
seller, and then my contractor will walk it. He sends me 100 pictures, and then we decide if we're going to buy it or not. But yes, realtor I would say is paramount at this time right now for the on market items or stuff on the market. Lindsay, you agree? Starting out that way?
Yes, and I would try to get a property manager. If you like decided that you're gonna go and do a property manager and realtor, because I have both people walk my property before I put an offer on it. Because my property manager will let me know like if this house is gonna be hard to rent. Because I don't know the area, right? Like is it gonna be hard to rent? Is the rent competitive or is it gonna be really easy to rent? And because the property manager will be handling the tenants, they will be like, "Look, I don't want to handle the tenants that will live in this house, right?" And then so I have a different perspective. The realtor for me, I feel like it's always trying to close a transaction, but property manager would be more of like the other barrier of like, yeah, I don't think you're gonna want to sit on this house 2 months vacancy before I can get a renter in here. So it's for me, like it's just as important my property manager to walk the property than as well as my realtor.
I've heard that also. I don't know anything about property management because we took care of all of our own stuff because it was in Arizona, so it wasn't far. But I've heard that they have incentives for turnover and that type of thing. And how do you look for that property manager that isn't going to be in it to make money themselves off from kind of your demise, if you will?
Yeah. I would say if you already settle down in a city, try to find somebody else that's investing in the city. Because if
Mhm.
you were local, right, if you were investing in your local market, you would try to find another investor to give you referrals, right? Somebody that's already having like some kind of success, that's trying to expand in that market. Try to find somebody else that is also in the market so you can hear like maybe they're going to 2 or 3 property managers already because they've been investing in that market. So they'll be like, don't go with that one, don't go with that one, maybe try to talk to this one. And it's going to be a personality too, with you, because a lot of people prefer, texting over calling or emailing over calling. So just get somebody you're comfortable with and then there's responsive. But as far as like property manager fees, the normal property manager fees that you hear are property management between for long-term rentals, 8% to 12% is the norm across the United States. Difference in fee, another fee would be placing the tenant. There is a placing tenant fee. So my property manager charges half the first month. I heard other property managers charge the first full month. And then so when you hear about the incentive of turnover, I'm not 100% secure that that's like the case with every property manager because it's also work for them. They have to screen, then they have to, approve an application and they have to move in the person or work with the previous tenants to get out. So that would be another fee you tackle onto it. I heard property managers have a lease renewal fee, like yearly, to sign the new lease. I don't have that. And I also heard that property managers take their late fees. My property manager does not reimburse me the late fees. They don't keep the late fees. What else have I heard?
So you could
Yeah.
basically just negotiate and say, for instance, because I tend to like to meet my tenants, kind of get a feel for them, talk to them, that kind of thing. So then you can kind of negotiate with the property manager and say, this is what I would like you to do. I'll handle the tenants moving in. I just want you to do the logistical stuff or, that type of thing. Or do they tend to go with you buy a whole package of service or you don't?
It's different with everybody. Like
Okay.
for example, you can get a realtor. Realtors take like a lease fee. You can get a realtor to screen and place a tenant in there, and then you carry on after that lease sign. You can get the one fee. There's property managers who do a la carte um services. So it just depends what you can work out with them.
Okay, that's really good information just to kind of get an idea. So, and I would guess that being on like one rental at a time, being in school and stuff, you could probably just put stuff out there and there's probably somebody reasonably close to where you are that would have some idea
Mhm.
how that operates in that area.
Yeah, and realtors too will know property managers as well, right? And some of them are like one I've dealt with, and one I was gonna share with Lindsay. She's actually a property manager as well too, so she's kind of the one-stop shop for that side of things. If you but still interview your like just like your contractors, interview your property managers, everything. Like they're here for you, right? They're supporting you and your business, so make sure that it
Yeah.
fits and it's right. Because yeah, I think with Lindsay a couple weeks ago we learned about the late fee thing that one of them was taking late fees, and I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah. I've heard some really weird things, and I thought, I just, knowing me, I would probably want to go back and have 3 days back there because I like travel anyway. So,
Hmm.
you
Oh
know,
yeah, if you can make a trip out of
go
it,
go
yeah,
do some fun stuff and take care of
yeah.
business, but have like 3 days interviewing people, and it
Hmm.
just my comfort level. Because I'm investing. I have I'm on a fixed income, but I'm quite comfortable on a
Good.
pension. But
Yeah.
I live in California, so we can go
Mhm.
bankrupt at any point in time, and especially,
Yeah.
especially where my pension comes from. So I want to, and I do have stocks and stuff also. That's where the bulk of my investments are. But I want passive income of at least 4 houses in the worst case scenario, because I'm obviously an older person. I don't have something happens to that, I'm still going to be able to have this as another source of income to back me up.
That's good. I think that's a great goal. Real estate, obviously, it's proven to provide that for you and get you
Yes,
that
it
space and
has.
be able to hand it down, pass it down. It's just a generational wealth thing, wealth building.
Exactly. Thank you. That's excellent information.
Mary Lee, are you planning to buy cash and then just cash flow from the house, or are you planning to
No, I won't be buying cash. I'll be, depending, I was up in Alaska, I have family in Alaska. So I was up in Alaska, and the area my son and daughter-in-law live in is a beautiful area, about 50 miles from Anchorage. And they're building up there. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to go over and look at these new houses. They're not big, opulent places. They're nice little 3-bedroom houses. And I'm thinking, that'd be really cool. Pick something up for a couple $100,000 or the prices have gone up on everything. They want like $400,000 or $500,000 in Alaska for these houses. And I was like, I'm obviously not
Wow.
in a situation where I'm going to go in. I cannot flip houses. I mean, I can go in and make it kind of nice. I know what to do with that, but I'm not going to flip and sell. That's way
Yeah.
over my head. But I just thought, okay, so what am I going to run into in these areas? And the creative financing is another thing. I mean, I certainly can get money out of my stocks and things like that. But, I hear about all these great options for creative financing and whatever. And I thought,
Hmm.
I just want cash flow out of it. Not
Yeah.
interested in the appreciation per se. Nice if it comes, and being able to have a pool of people that want to live in the house.
Yeah, I don't know if Lindsay, you're finding this one thing. I've got one vacancy right now. And one thing I'm finding is the tenant pool hasn't, and just this is just my market speaking. I don't know if everybody else is getting this, but the tenant pool hasn't been as great. I don't know if people are buying. I don't know what it is. This house is nice and done and remodeled, and I've got 2 applicants right now. I'm used to getting like 10 to 12, and it's just different, uh, a different ballpark. And now they're sitting for a little longer, and so I'm not sure what it is yet. And it could be this in this property, the area is not the greatest, but it's usually in an area where we're getting tons of applicants. The last one I had last month, we had I think 9 applicants, I want to say. So we're seeing just a little drop in the um, trend of good or decent tenants at least. And I don't know if Lindsay, if you're getting that.
I have one house that is in the best area, and it's probably the best house I bought in Gary, and because it doesn't have a garage and it doesn't have a basement, then it's having a hard time renting because the other comps would have a basement or a garage.
That
That
extra space then. Well, that's kind of too what I was thinking is in an area where like I've been trying to look what industries are moving into what areas, like the government's, like a company's coming to this area and they're going to need housing and whatever. And I listen a lot to Dion too. Probably I'm a little more in like his thing coming into investing. I don't have huge pools or at this point huge pools of money to invest, but so I'm kind of trying to figure out, okay, where would people constantly need housing? And I'm kind of thinking possibly maybe at some point of figuring out, I'm not going to sell my house in California, but how to maybe do a duplex and even at some point change my residency and kind of house hack on that where I would keep my house in California and then just that would be my residency house kind of thing. But those are just dream things down the road. So um duplexes seem to be a nice way to go to if you can find nice ones that people, would like to be in. So that's the other thing is figuring out what to make sure it has in the house that would be a calling card for the people in that area.
I'll touch on that because Montgomery was something sought after for us because there's a huge Hyundai plant, there's a military base. So I'm thinking, oh, there's going to be growth and jobs. In 5 years of investing, I've never had anybody from the military as a tenant. I've never had anybody work at the one tenant worked at the Hyundai plant. I'm also investing in C plus neighborhoods, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
So the people at those plants, they're either buying or they're renting a better area, right? Which doesn't cash flow as much as is nice. So when I found that market, that was super important job growth and yeah, population growth and the crime rate and all that. And in these sub 100K cities, there's going to be tons of pockets of crime, right? That's just, it is what it is. That's why the
Right,
values
right.
are at this level. You just have to find the pockets within those pockets that are decent or okay, or even, or even a really good area. Um, but no, I did all the analytics and looked at everything, but honestly, it just came down to what made the most sense financially and does this work? And then it was proven, and it's been 5 years, and I know it does, and I've seen it. So like, taking the risk obviously is the biggest thing. We don't know these areas. The realtors can tell you but they might not know them as well too. They live out there, they hear about them, they see them, but until you live it, you don't know these areas. You haven't been in
Right.
so you're still speculating, you're still taking a risk, you're still gambling. Um, but yeah, I did all the analytics on that. It just boiled down to what numbers worked for me. Because obviously, if a city's trending and it's hot and it's popping, it's great. The values are going to go up crazy, right? So it's going to outprice us and outpace us. Similar, like I was also looking in Vegas in 2019, 2020, and it was
Yeah.
before all the teams got there. And I was like, man, it was a good deal. It was great. Everything worked and cash flowed. And now it's I can't even afford Vegas as for a rental. Because if it's hot and if it can be trendy, it's gonna
Go
it's not
up
going to be a
and
good investment, right? Yeah. So
right, exactly.
yeah, that's
Yeah, that
kind of
I've thought
how.
about that too is, be on the one tier out from the hot trendy area, where
Mhm.
people want to be close, but they can't afford to be in.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. So I always liked, and this goes for around the country. I've always liked outside of the suburb city or a suburb outside of the big city. So if you want to, 40, 30, 45 an hour outside of the big city. Because some people don't want to be in the metropolitan city, in the big
right.
town. They want to be on the outskirts of it where they can just drive in for a day, go back home and be quiet and peaceful. So that's kind of similar to the city like I'm in and the community I'm in is just like that. We're 45 from San Francisco, 45 from Sacramento, right in the middle. So we're just in this little pocket. So I've always liked that for my out of states as well. Um, being on the outskirts a little bit.
Yeah, that seems to be what I'm hearing. So that's really good information how to get started. So, it's
Because it's just you're like I just don't want you to spin your wheels for a year. Just this one has a 3.6 crime rate. This one got a 3.5, and because you'll talk yourself out of it. I talked myself out of probably 20 houses because I didn't know anybody out there that can fix a toilet. So I was like, I'm not going to buy that. The toilet's messed up. I don't know anybody that can fix it. And I talked myself out of buying that house when really it was a minimal, tiny issue. And looking back, I probably could have had more. But
well, you
just
can
that
always get
analysis
someone to fix
paralysis.
that kind of stuff. There's people
Exactly.
everywhere, and that's I need to get there and actually talk to people. I actually have two realtors that
Hmm.
I've been talking to and just saying I'm coming back and give me the lowdown on this and
Yeah.
whatever because and what would
I would recommend going to those realtors and tell them, hey, give me 3 to 5 houses you think would be a good fit for me, but you also bring in your pocket 3 to 5 houses that you ran the numbers on from your computer and that worked for you. And then compare them and see, okay, mine were in a war zone. Theirs were in a great area. Maybe I'm cash flowing a little bit more, but I know I'm going to get a better quality person, or vice versa. Their areas in a war, whatever it is.
right.
But just bring your analysis with you, right? That you've done over the computer and you've seen, and that these numbers work for you. Like I can do this tomorrow, and go there. If you're going to go there, take that with you and go. Okay, now I see why this house is $65,000, or something like that. If that
And
does that make
where
sense?
do you get the analytics?
I can sit. So I run actually. Lindsay, where'd you do all your research?
So I use niche.com just to see the class of the neighborhood, the type of neighborhood I'm looking
And
at.
how do you spell that, Lindsay?
I can type it in niche. But let me-
NICHE.com.
just to see, because then they will give you a breakdown of the crime rate. They will give you a breakup of the class of type of neighborhood. They will bring a rating on the public schools. And then you would be like whatever typical you're looking at, 46404. Okay, that's a B type plus neighborhood. You go Redfin, like you look it up a zip code, what's the average house median market there? What's the rent there? You can go to Rentometer or you can go to Zillow to calculate the rent, and then I'll be like, okay, this house is basically going to break even. Let's say if it's a B type neighborhood, you get all the metrics of the crime rate, like the schools, and then price to rent ratio is not positive for cash flow, right? The average market
Right.
rent. Then you go to the next market that you're looking at and then look it up.
And that's all on niche.com.
Yeah, that would be niche.com. If you use ChatGPT, you can ask ChatGPT questions like what is the population growth on this city? They will like do their analysis across whatever's on the internet. The population growth is 1%, 0.8%, -%, depending on what's going on. I also look at average household income to be over 40,000. So that's just like a couple of things that I do.
Oh, that's great
Um,
information.
city-data.com
Right.
tells you a lot of that
Okay.
as well.
City-data.
Data.com. Yep. You can type in any city, it'll give you everything about that city. Facebook groups have been good as well.
Sorry to be so basic on all of this. I'm starting
No.
out, but this is
I
just
still use all this stuff. This is stuff that we still are using, so
Yeah.
it's not basic at all.
Like if you tell me like, oh, I'm looking at this property, then I would put it on niche.com just to see what the stats say. And I'm like, okay, sounds like a nice area.
Mm-hmm.
Without even being there, right? But ABC, it's what you would want to invest in, the properties you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, so Rentometer and Zillow, of course, you're going to see active listings for rentals, right? You're not seeing what they're actually renting for. That's what or are you?
Well, so be careful with Zillow. I use Zillow all the time for my rent area, but people will leave listings on Zillow, like for rent. It could be on there for 270 days because they forgot to take it off.
Yeah.
So you look in this area and say the street over, you're renting a house for $1,250, whatever, and the street over, they've got one for $1,150. And you're like, man, I can't charge the $1,250. That could have been up since 2 years ago or something. Like they leave them up and they don't take them down. So it still is going to give you a good ballpark, of course. Rentometer is great. Rentometer is also you have to pay for after a certain amount of uses. I don't know what the number is.
Yeah.
There's a cheap plan, but still a good tool. Always, I really recommend Rentometer as well. Rentometer, whatever.
Yeah, I know nobody knows how to say it, but
Yeah.
so there was a realtor in a market I was looking at in Arizona that was able to, I guess realtors have this value add to be able to check actual rents somehow. I don't
They're
know.
probably using Rentometer, honestly. I don't know.
Okay.
I've never heard. I mean, you can't because it's
Private information. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's public until the landlord posts it, so it's public, right? It goes on Zillow, goes on Craigslist, Facebook, whatever. Um, it's kind of up to your better judgment. I would say the more familiar you are with your city, the more you'll know. Like, oh, this area is 1,200. This area is 1,400 all day. It's a 4 bedroom. Okay, it's 1,450. Like whatever, you'll know and kind of see. And then you can also get your HUD, like Section 8 rental amounts. Don't use that as the Bible, please do not, because the Section 8 will still lowball you. But it's still a good. Okay, this is kind of the ballpark where I'm at. 12 to 1,400 is probably what I can get for this, depending on the quality of house, depending on the bedroom count. you know, that takes into play as well.
Yeah.
One website I use as well for rents is, I will send it in the chat,
Not part
but
of
it's the Section 8, it's the Section 8 affordable housing website. You can actually type in your, and this is all, there's no limit, there's no, you could, oh, it's not working. You can type in the city or the actual address and the amount of bedrooms and the bathrooms, and it'll tell you the rental amount within a quarter mile up to, I think it's up to the city, whatever the city's charging in there. So the website's not working right now, but
It's okay. The Section 8.
yeah, it's affordablehousing.com. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
But
for
yeah, I
my,
use that one.
for example, Section 8, the fair market rent for that zip code for my house is the bottom floor that I would charge
Mhm.
rent, right? So normally fair market prices, rents are not lower than what the market is charging. So that would be a good source of information too. Like Section 8 is charging this, and then you're seeing Zillow going for this, and you're seeing like whatever apartments.com going for this, then you have an idea, okay, the lowest is this, then you have like the highest. And even if you use Rentometer, when you use Rentometer, the comps that they use, you have to look at them to see if your property is comparable to that.
Yeah.
Because if they're comparing a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and then you have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, that's not the same. Or they're comparing like something that has like, it's 3,000 square feet and your property is 1,000 square feet, that's not comparable, right?
Right. You know, it's so, I just would love to share a real quick story. So we just have the 4 units in Klamath Falls, bought them in 2020. They were not at market rate rents. We went in and did some nice, like Marilee's saying, some nice upgrades with the laminate vinyl plank flooring, painted, even changed out doorknobs on doors. I mean, that makes a big difference. But so we have almost doubled the rents that we're charging. And I think we've reached the maximum that region can afford. But I posted one, we have one coming available in September. I posted one, just so I'll give you real numbers here. The landlord was giving a guy a deal on a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom for like $500. And Klamath Falls is not it's a kind of a depressed area, but we have successfully been renting it for $1,300 for the last couple of years. I posted it at $1,345 and I put it on the classifieds in there, and I'm cracking up at the chat that's going on among the locals going, this rented for $500 just 4 years ago. This is crazy. These landlords are trying to rip everybody off, you know? And I'm just laughing because yeah, in that same neighborhood are fourplexes that look just like it that have never been upgraded and are basically being run by slumlords. And we went ahead and made them nice. We vet people. And sometimes if you list the rent at a higher price, you're going to draw a higher quality tenant, frankly, that's willing to, you know, stretch themselves a little bit to get into something nicer. So that's what we've found is optimizing. I'm all about optimizing too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maximizing your profits while minimizing your spending.
Yep. But now we got to put a roof on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's probably big too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time. And that's talk about eating. That's why we're like, this is too big a hit. We have to have a bigger portfolio for something like this to not hurt so bad. Yeah.
Where were you going to invest or looking to invest in Arizona?
So we have talk about tactical advantage, right? I hear you all saying, I know somebody here, I know somebody there. I have married children in the Queen Creek area, which is
I know it well.
And they are potentially the people that I would rely on to be the boots on the ground and find they've lived there for his family has anyway. So we're looking at all over really, but we can't find anything that's cash flowing unless we do a rent by room type of model or maybe an ADU.
Yeah.
It's
because I know in Casa Grande they're starting to build there because of the Phoenix spread. You know, there's no place for anybody to go. And
Yeah.
so sorry to everybody in Arizona that all those kind of Californians showed up. Don't
Yeah.
hold me responsible. We weren't those kind of Californians when
Yeah.
we were there. But and
But if
so
you're
I've kind of been peeking into that. You know, there's lots of development going on there.
Yeah.
My biggest drawback is I really don't want to be in an HOA situation. And so many of those things are HOAs. And I just,
Yeah.
you know, that I really try to avoid that like the plague.
Yeah.
Well, I'm listening to Zuber and I'm predicting and Resi Club, you know, Lance Lambert saying that Arizona listings there are the ones that are getting hit the hardest with withdrawn listings and expired listings. There's a bunch of sellers that are just putting it out there in hopes that they're going to get what they think they can get, but there's just too much inventory. They're not going to get it. So I'm kind of, I'm ready to write those disrespectful offers, you know, find something that somebody just really needs to sell. But like you're talking about, Vincent, you don't really find those on the MLS. You've got to know somebody, I think.
So surprisingly though, it like you said, times are getting desperate. People are selling, whether they're upgrading or not. I told the story a little while ago. I bought a house, or I was probably a month or two ago. I was one of the nights I just couldn't sleep. I have a really tough time sleeping at night, but I couldn't sleep, and I was just let me just look on market in Montgomery, Alabama. So I just decided to go on Zillow on the app of my phone, just laying in bed. And I found like 6 houses that have been on market for a long time. So I was like, I'll just save them, and then tomorrow I'll call the realtor. So I just called the realtor, tell me what's going on with these houses. Got a couple stories on them. Okay, cool. But one of them, um, I was like, can my contractor just walk it? So I sent him over. He walked it, gave me a bunch of pictures, told me everything. Hey, this is nice. It's a 4 bedroom. They wanted 110. Um, so I'm like, hey, I call a lady. We can get this done. I'm a cash buyer. I'm an investor. So I wrote up a little chat GPT offer. It's now a template I've used for a couple years now, but I just put 70,000 in there. Let me just disrespect them. There's like 100, I think they want 106 or 108, something like that. So I threw them a 70, they countered at 72, and I got the house. So it's just, and they told my contractor, yeah, my contractor called me. He's like, they told me they have to move because they've already bought another house. And I'm like, that's the worst thing you tell an investor is that you have to move because I'm going to throw you something to make you move. So we ended up, throwing the offer super low and then got the house. The house was worth 140 grand fixed up. So I'm going to burn this one out and actually make a couple thousand off of it. And this was on market.
Yeah.
So like there's some desperate people that are, you'll see prices dropping. You'll see time on market is increasing right now. You'll see that -5, -7. You'll see all that on market for if you want to do that. So it doesn't hurt. Like the worst they can say is no or counter. Or
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. So
right?
your addiction is paying off. Staying up
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. Yeah.
So two things. You didn't use a realtor to buy that?
I did. So with her, what I did was I split. So they accepted my offer low, but we split her 3% closing costs. So I just paid a 1.5% of her closing costs.
So, and the chat GPT template, are you willing to share that?
Yeah, of course. I can give you my full offer thing.
Because, so why would you need that if you've got a realtor? I'm confused a little bit.
So I say it's just my formal offer on the property, right? So I could have told her, hey, I'll give you 70, and she could have wrote up the RPA, and then for me to sign it and done that. That was technically her job. It was just my email to it. I didn't do it on the phone because I send out a ton of offers. So I just send out a bunch of, so it's easier for me just to email 6 different people, whether it's a seller, whether it's a realtor, whatever. Like, here's my formal thing from my business.
Okay.
But no, I could have told her, hey, I'll do 70 right now, and she'll go to the seller and say, hey, what do you think about this? And they say yes or no, and she could write it up.
Okay.
That's a PDF.
That's what my son does up in Alaska. He buys property and whatever, and he just writes letters to the people, gets the address, and he's managed to pick up 2 or 3 really, really nice properties that people just, You know,
Yeah.
they didn't have a stick in front of the house or anything, and he just thought, yeah, I could really do this and this with that, and he just sent
Yeah.
them. And you know, for all the ones he sends out, I mean, it's really amazing.
Yeah, it's people are getting desperate right now. The interest rates are high. It's people, you would be surprised of people that are needing to sell and just thinking going on market is the answer. So throw the disrespectful offers. I'm all about it.
Yeah, you can compile on the MLS a list of properties that have been on the market for more than like 3 months, and then start calling
Mhm.
the realtors to say, hey, like, hey, is the owner motivated before even submitting an offer? But if you want to be like super active about it, you can submit an offer, right, and get it in writing. But also talk to the realtors and be like, what's going on? What's this house? Why is it not selling? I'm an investor. I doubt it would make sense only for me to be at this number. You think the owners will even consider it?
So I will share it. This is the blank one. So you'd have to fill in your information. I don't know if it'll. So here it's in the chat. It's kind of ugly in there. Oh, I overseeded it. Never mind. It's too big of a.
It's too
I
big.
can, if you guys want to drop your email, I can just email it over. But it's super simple, super basic. It outlines everything. Mine just says the property address, my name, who it went to, um, my offer, my EMD, my type of financing, my contingencies, my preferred title company that I use, and then any other terms I would like to add on to that. And I use that same for sellers. When I go direct to seller as well, or I'll submit an LOI.
Yeah, I
And
think
Send
Oh,
you
I
guys
think
thanks
this.
for
overall
that.
ChatGPT is a great resource. Like, I put ChatGPT all the time. One thing I did try to do that didn't there it doesn't like download Excels was a calculator for making sure it's a good deal. I try to use ChatGPT for that, but it
Mhm.
gave me what to put in each cell. So if you want to do that, you can. But I was curious if you guys have like an Excel that you use to calculate if it makes a good deal or not, or if you just do like pen and paper.
I do Zuber's
Lindsay,
spreadsheet. Michael Zuber's one rental at a time formula spreadsheet that he shares.
Mm,
Yeah.
so different calculators are going to do different things, right? So I use one
yeah.
for my flips, use one for long-term holds. There's a ton of them out there. ChatGPT, if you're using it to analyze a deal, don't input a spreadsheet. Just ask it. Hey,
Oh, that's good. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
yeah, hey, I'm buying this with 25% down. The lender's quoting me 7% interest rate. Run this deal on me. Tell me the market trends, the market rental amount, how much will I cash flow with a property manager? This is my insurance cost, my expense. Throw it all in there and have it do it, right? Instead of inputting a tool to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
where is that now?
That would be chat. She was talking about Chat GPT.
But the more that you know your market, the more that will be like, oh, you can do a mental breakdown. This is gonna run for 1,400. My PATR is gonna be 900. My taxes, you can look it up in the county, the county office real quick, calculate, and it's
How
going
do you
to.
calculate the like your home insurance? I found one tool that can do it, but I just was curious if you guys have a
You
tool.
can.
You just call a broker or go through. I used to have State Farm, but now they limit you to how many you can have in a portfolio, so I had to get rid of them. So I use a
Mm,
broker now, but you just call. Say, hey, I'm running this address. It's really hard to quote because some will give you different rental amounts depending on your value of the property,
mhm.
your deductible, all that. So I would just call like, hey, what is it? Because they want your business, right? They're brokers.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good.
What Super has is steadily. Steadily is like online. So basically you can just feed it into steadily and then I will give you a quote right away, like in 2 minutes.
Yeah. That's the one
Which
that
one
I've
is that?
used steadily through.
Steadily.com.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of that. Okay.
Yeah,
And
I think
Bigger
it's
Pockets has like a link to it as well. I'll share it in the chat. That's the one I was
Yeah.
referring to that I use.
Yeah, but normally it's like 1% of the purchase price.
Yeah,
Like
1 to 2.
ballpark, and then you steadily when you don't know. But
Oh, I didn't. I'm gonna include a couple calculators in that email as well that I have saved.
Yeah, I
If they
appreciate it.
work. That won't work. If I send it as a numbers file, will it open if people don't have Apple?
so discriminatory, Vincent. I think
Huh?
I will open it as an image, if anything.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys try it. If it does, I can change it for you. Or just get a Mac. Okay. Oops. Awesome. Does anybody have anything else?
No, but the information I've got already, my usual 2.5 pages full of information, which I
Oh,
love. Now I can sit and digest it. So
that's the goal. That's awesome.
yeah, it's such a great group. I can't
Yeah.
believe how much I'm learning from all of this. I so appreciate you all.
It's Lindsay. Lindsay's the best.
Hey, Lindsay, Vincent, this is Ravi. I know I've been off for past 1 month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Traveling, Ravi?
yeah, I was traveling. Like I was attending. I went to San Diego and then I went to Montreal. So I was attending my friend's son's wedding. So I'm back now. I'll be active
Nice.
moving forward.
Well, we're ready for you. How's everything going with you, Robbie?
Yeah, good. So yeah, I narrowed down to Gary Market. So I'm talking to Angelo. Let's see how it goes.
Mm.
Gary,
Yeah, send
Indiana.
me your deals, Ravi. I'll give you my input too.
Yeah, thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, I will talk to you. Yeah, definitely. I will keep you in loop. Yeah.
Mr. Rick, I did speak with her this week again, and she's not taking any new real estate clients right now. The CPA and the bookkeeper. Yeah, I will let you know if anything changes though. I have asked her before for you, and as soon as she's ready, I will let you know. But she takes a small amount, I guess, and doesn't want to overwhelm herself. Did I? Sorry, Robbie. I think I sent it before you sent that. Let me resend it to you. Did everybody get the email?
Yeah, you work fast.
Let me send it to you.
Val, how are you doing? You haven't said anything.
I know you've been quiet.
Perfect. Thank you, Vincent. I got it.
Okay, awesome.
How long have you guys been meeting? Guys, did you hear that?
No, longer than that. How
February.
long has it been, Lindsay? Huh?
Since February, right? Or is it January?
Oh, has it been that
Oh,
long?
it's been January. I don't
And
know.
Oh.
it's a once a week thing or every other
Friday,
week?
8 o'clock, or yeah, Friday, 8 o'clock our time. Yes.
Okay.
PhD.
No, I agree. You guys I love your hearts to share your knowledge, and that's the kind of person I like to be too. So I just got to get more knowledge to share.
Yeah. Mike, I'm really big on people having freedom
Yeah.
and spending time with family because I've had some things happen where I realize that life is so short and my
Mhm.
kids are now 8 and 7 and they're so active and I want to be there for everything. I don't want to miss a thing. So I
Mhm.
found a path to make sure that my presence is there and something I can also hand down and teach them as well too. So
Yeah.
why not just go all
I'm
in this,
yeah. I might invite my adult children to jump in just to get them inspired by you guys because they're just starting their families and
Yeah.
they're in their mid-20s and mid to upper 20s.
Mhm.
I do
I
not
can-
want to see them go down the paths that well, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
I can tell you, being the senior among the group, when you're at this point in life, you can either just kind of sit and rot away, or you can get everything going. And,
Yeah.
I took care of my husband for 12 years with Alzheimer's.
Wow.
And it was kind of a long process. I was grateful I was able to do it. And there were a whole lot of problems and whatnot. And he passed away just as COVID started. So then the lockdown, of course, compounded all that because you couldn't be around anybody. And I will tell you, my whole look at life for the years I have left, and I'm not anxious to go soon. I'm going to live a long, long time, but I
Good, as you should.
want to make it, a dynamic life. I really want to,
And love
I
that.
want to go out making a deal,
Yeah. You got to watch. So the line I love, Shawshank Redemption: "Get busy living or get busy dying."
There you go.
Mhm.
There
Yeah.
you go. And it's evidently clear to me, what keeps you young is staying young.
Yeah.
And it's all in your mind. And it's all taking care of your mind and keeping yourself, in good shape. And it's just, I encourage anybody, and all of you are way younger than me. You've got the right perspective on everything, and family or friends, whatever you have, it's worth the investment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
taking
For
care of
sure.
mind is the big deal, right? That's the
Mhm.
most important. More than physical, mind is the number one priority.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. That's something I've been practicing lately, outside of real estate, is mindset.
Yes.
I have a really bad rumination problem where at night I'm just turned up, wide awake, kids are asleep, wife's asleep, and I'm just trying to get, I'll have doubts, and that's just when everything comes to light. And that's something it's actually this week I've been battling really difficultly with. And I met with one of my mentors and talked it through, but um, it's a really like a true thing.
It's a
Yeah.
Like
spiritual battle.
yeah. And that's what I'm learning. 'Cause I was never taught that,
Yeah.
or didn't grow up that
Yeah.
way. And I'm learning all that now, but in business, even
Meditation
yourself
works
is,
for me. Meditation,
yeah,
right? Yeah. You guys want to try? That works.
yeah.
And don't ever think it can't be done. Changing your state changes everything.
Mhm.
And there's several different things you can do for that. And you have to just kind of do a combination of it. But it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
It really does. And, so it's good that you're doing that. You're so young, and that is not meant as in any way a slap in the face, because
No,
you're
I appreciate
obviously
it.
done many things right. But it's a good thing to learn young, and fortunately, we don't focus on those kinds of things in our culture, and it's just so important for
Yeah.
your welfare.
Well, me and Lindsay are here for whatever questions, emails. You have my email now, and whatever you guys need, we're always here to help out in any way we can.
Thank you. It's
Awesome.
fantastic.
Sponge.
Well,
Were
I
you
wanted
guys
to.
able to open up those attachments? Oh, sorry, Mr. Fierce.
Oh, no. I just wanted to let you know I was here. I'm here listening in. Just like I said, just grinding. Earlier, I was at Home Depot grabbing some doors and
There
trying to
you go.
get all my stuff together. So, but no, I'll definitely listen in. I missed y'all. I missed
Spend
y'all,
that
man. It's
money.
been
I know.
yeah, I missed y'all. It's been a long time. Feel like
You
I've been
did you build your pro
disconnected.
account? You build your pro account at Home Depot?
Oh yeah, you know that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
sir. And
get that.
I look, my dad. I'm a Home Depot guy. My dad, he's Lowe's, so I done got him to get him a pro account over there as well too. But
There you
hey,
go.
yeah, man, we just like I said, putting this one back together, man. So they are in there getting busy. So I'm so happy. So yeah, man. So I'm just super ecstatic. So yeah.
Did you guys know
Awesome.
that when you have a pro account at Home Depot, if you spend 1,500, the corporate discount kicks in, so 20% gets off your bill. So when you go to Home Depot, wait until your balance is gonna hit 1,500. I didn't know
I
that.
thought that was just on paint.
No,
No?
it's on everything. I just got I just bought two doors. They were 140, 144. I think the total bill was something, and then I think it knocked off like $40. So I've been knocking them across the head with this pro account for
Yeah,
sure.
Is
I
there
just
any
heard
What?
that from Dion.
That's a contractor's discount, or
Anybody can get a pro account. Anybody.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
pro
my question.
account.
But you
And
get
it's
extra savings, yeah. You get
and
extra
it's cumulatively $1,500, and after that, the 20% kicks in.
Yes, an additional 20%, but when you get the pro account, you get discounts just as it is for the pro account. But
Oh,
Oh.
neat.
an additional 20% kicks in after 1,500.
Nice.
Good to know.
Yeah,
very
what's
neat.
good too about this is a huge thing with out of state investing. So with your pro account in Home Depot, attach your credit card to your pro account. Your contractor or whoever can go to Home Depot, go to the pro desk and say, hey, I have this order for Lindsay. Here's her phone number. They'll give you your phone number, they'll text you. You respond with a 1, it charges your credit card automatically, it emails you the receipt right after. So it's super simple. They walk up with a bag or a cart of stuff, whatever, and they go, hey, put this on Vincent's pro account. They'll type in my phone number. I'll get a text immediately. It goes, hey, Jerry is here with an order of $250. I hit 1, it goes to my credit card, and then the email receipts right there.
Yep,
And do you,
it's
you need
amazing.
a business,
No, just pro account. So it's
just a
under my
plain
business,
pro
but yes,
account? You don't
yeah,
have
you
to
can
have
go.
like a certified business or anything.
No, you can go right now on HomeDepot.com and create your pro account.
Yeah.
I'm doing that right
And
now.
yeah, and
Yeah,
buy
I was
your
gonna
own
say
stuff
me too.
too.
I'm headed over there.
Yeah.
And then too, when you go to check out, when you go to pay, then it's gonna ask you for a job name. So what I do, I just put in the address for the job, and then so once we're done with the job, I can go back to the customer service and get a printout of everything I bought, and then that automatically goes right to the tax guy.
Right.
Oh,
Yep.
great.
Yep.
Mr. Pierce is also online too. You can see your purchase history online too if you don't want to go back in.
Yeah, I hadn't got it dialed in just that well yet. So
Yeah.
hey, it gives me that little personal one-on-one action to
There you go,
I
understand.
have
yeah.
But yeah,
paper too. I don't
so,
know. Like a paper means more legit aesthetic on my desk for tax. For tax.
yeah, but yeah, Home Depot is definitely your best friend when it comes to this here.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know about it says I'm gonna I have the tier or elite tier benefits. I didn't know about the perks though of that.
Yeah. No, it's just past paint. Matter of fact, you was talking about the paint, but see, I done got an account over at Sherwin-Williams now. So I've been doing, I've been trying to do everything with Sherwin-Williams. So I've been just trying to,
Yeah.
like I said, so I'm just not jumping back and forth with a whole lot. And so like I said, just all the materials from Home Depot, all the paint from Sherwin-Williams, and just
Yeah.
keeping it like that. So yeah.
And this is the side of investing that makes your life easier, right? Like this is the
Absolutely.
things
Yeah.
to help with the business part. It's not the fun or the sexy part, but it helps with the day to day.
Yeah, for
absolutely.
sure.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Anything else, anybody?
It's been great. Thank you.
Yes, it always
Well, we
is.
will see you
Yes.
guys next Friday. Thank you guys for
See you
everybody
next
for coming in.
Friday.
Thank
Everybody
you.
have a great week. Blessings for the
Yes.
week.
Absolutely.
Yes, you guys as well. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too. We'll see you. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow.